a world where every second counts, smartwatches have become our indispensable companions. From tracking our health and fitness to keeping us connected with the world, they enhance our lives in ways that previously were not possible. With every year that passes, they become more advanced, with prices jumping for each version, but imagine a smartwatch that is not only feature-packed, but is also incredibly affordable, bringing advanced technology within reach for everyone. That watch is here. This is the OnePlus Watch 2R. It has an insane battery life that claims to last 4 days, dual chips and operating systems with a classic design, all for $230. I've been using this watch for the last week instead of the Apple Watch Series 9, and there are very few trade-offs that I've noticed. And for the price, I'm not sure that you're going to find better value in a smartwatch. Today, I'm going to go over what my experience has been like, what I like about the Watch 2R, and what could be improved. With that said, begin transmission. OnePlus is relatively new to wearable products. They started releasing them in 2021, which included the initial watch that had mixed reviews, and now 3 years later, seem to have worked out a lot of the kinks in that initial product with the release of the Watch 2. The OnePlus Watch 2R is the lighter, less expensive version of the Watch 2, but sacrifices very little in terms of features or quality. While the Watch 2 is constructed out of stainless steel, the 2R is made from aluminum alloy, making it 21 grams lighter and only 59 grams in total weight, including the strap. The model that I have is gunmetal gray in color, but you can also get this in forest green, and design-wise, the 2R has a traditional classic look to it. The strap is made from silicone with a stainless steel buckle that pairs well with the general aesthetic of the watch, and although it only does come in one size, it fits pretty well even if you have smaller wrists like myself, and is quite comfortable. On the actual watch, along the right side you have 2 buttons to perform actions, and unlike the Apple Watch, where I find myself inadvertently clicking on the crown when my wrist bends, the Watch 2R doesn't have that problem at all, as the buttons are slightly tucked away from the far edge of the side. This watch is fairly large, which is something to be aware of if you prefer smaller sizes, partly because of the screen, which is a 46mm AMOLED display with a 326 pixel per inch density. This is easily viewable in daylight with up to 1000 nits brightness, and while I don't always like round screens on smartwatches, OnePlus has done a great job with this one. The UI is clean, there's a bunch of terrific watch faces to choose from, and it's easy to access everything you need, from general information like the weather, to more functional use cases like fitness tracking and heart rate monitoring, all of which are sitting on top of Wear OS 4 and RTOS operating systems. Those operating systems work together to provide a single cohesive experience, and under the hood, you find a similar setup where you have 2 chips, the Snapdragon W5 Gen 1 and the BES 2700. Those chips provide more than enough horsepower to keep everything fast and responsive. I get notifications without any issues, and through the side buttons, I can also easily access Google Pay, and I can make and receive phone calls on here, as the watch has a built-in mic just below the watch buttons, with a speaker on the other side. There is no option for cellular connectivity though, so you will have to have your phone nearby for that to work. The one saving grace the 2R has in that regard is it does have 32 gigs of storage, so I can store music or media internally in the event that I want to leave behind my phone and go for a walk or a run. Events like those can be tracked and mapped flawlessly, as the Watch 2R has dual frequency L1 and L5 GPS, and I found workout and health data to be about the same accuracy as on my Apple Watch. All of that data can be seen in the watch or through the OnePlus O Health app, where I can access all the data that I need, from heart rate tracking, VO2 max and blood oxygen levels, to things like sleep tracking and stress levels. Those are all pretty standard smartwatch functions, and while the Watch 2R does most of them without a hitch, the thing that sets it apart, much in the same way that the Watch 2 did, is the battery life. This has a 500 mAh battery, which is quite large for a smartwatch, but that, coupled with the hardware and software, can provide you with over 4 days of battery life in smart mode with the always-on display turned off, and just under 3 with it on. That essentially blows every other major manufacturer out of the water. Gone are the days of having to charge your watch every day, and with it having an IP68 water and dust resistance rating, there's rarely a time where it has to come off your wrist. OnePlus also does a nice job of breaking down battery usage on their site to give you a clear picture of what that looks like, instead of just giving you vague estimates. I've been using it for over a week now with the always-on display on, and I've only had to charge it twice up to this point, but when you do need to top up the battery, the OnePlus Watch 2R charges via a 7.5 watt VOOC puck charger that will give you a full charge in around 60 minutes and can get you to 50% in around 15, which is fantastic. Functionally, the charger works great, although visually it doesn't quite match the aesthetics of the watch, and it is somewhat unfortunate that it connects via physical pins instead of a wireless connection, but for $230, this might be the best value smartwatch that you can buy right now. In my opinion, it has one of the best looking designs, especially for a round watch face, and with all the features and functionality you get, it makes very little sacrifices, if any, compared to almost any other smartwatch on the market. This is a watch that I could see myself using every day, and I have no problem recommending it. OnePlus also released some products alongside this, one of which is the OnePlus Tab 2 that I'm also going to do a full review on, so if you want to see what that has to offer, make sure that you're subscribed, and I'll have that up soon. This concludes the duration of this review. If you enjoyed it or you found it useful, feel free to hit that like button. End transmission.